This here is Boom Studios Go-Go Power Rangers comic issue number 32, the final issue. It begins on the deserted planet. If you watched the original TV series, then you will know this is a rehash of the events from the power transfer. The Rangers went to the deserted planet to retrieve the Sword of Light, so they can transfer Jason, Zack and Trini's powers over to their replacements, but Lord Zed has Serpentera by this stage, and he destroys the deserted planet. At the command center, we begin to see things play out a bit differently. Trini and Zack think they should stick around a bit longer to train the new Rangers, but Jason thinks it's Tommy's team now, and he should train them. You really need to have your Power Rangers knowledge to follow this. We don't have an origin story for Rocky, Adam and Aisha as such. They've already transferred to Angel Grove from Stone Canyon. At the end of issue number 31 we saw them rollerblading, but that was it. They weren't recruited or anything, and now here they are. But of course from the TV show we saw exactly how they came to Angel Grove, and how they became Rangers. They learned the Rangers' identities, and so they were obviously the best choice at the time to replace the outgoing Rangers. This was a good move by Boom Studios. We don't need to get bogged down in a retelling of an origin story most Power Rangers fans will know. This I love. The original power transfer was basically a case of retrieve the Sword of Light, transfer, or copy, the powers to the new Rangers, and the originals teleport away and go to the peace conference. Everyone's happy. Not here. Tommy practically begs Jason and co not to go. He thinks the peace conference is a stupid idea. Jason has to be cryptic because his new mission must remain secret, but Tommy thinks Jason is just scared and wants to run. How wrong he was when he eventually learns the secret in the main series. The power transfer goes ahead, but because the comics aren't limited to recycled footage and body doubles like the original TV show, we actually see Jason, Zack and Trini helmetless as their powers are transferred over to their replacements. And we see Tommy sulk as he tells Jason that he hopes he has a great time in Switzerland. In the previous issue we saw Grace destroy Psycho Green's dagger rather than let Squat have it. I had my doubts over whether it was really destroyed or not based on Billy's reaction. And I was right to have my doubts. Billy approaches Grace at Promethea thinking she'd never destroy the dagger, but could make it look like she did. Grace shows him the real dagger is still at Promethea in one piece. Billy says he'll keep it a secret if Grace helps Billy with an experiment of his own. I wonder what that experiment will be. Another reason why I like this comics version of the power transfer over the one in the TV series, the Rangers get to part ways properly. Kimberly and Trini hug it out, Zack and Billy get to talk, and Jason leaves Rocky, Adam and Aisha some advice about being Power Rangers, like when in doubt, use the power blaster. This was much better than watching the originals teleport out and basically watching them depart on screen. More interesting stuff here aboard the Spectrum. Trini says she feels a hollowness because it's the first time they've not had morphin energy in them, since Day of the Dumpster basically. It's been debated whether the power transfer in the TV show really was a transfer, or just a copy of the powers, because Jason, Zack and Trini were still morphed, and of course Jason returns in Forever Red with his powers. Boom's approach seems to be an actual transfer rather than a copy, so Rocky, Adam and Aisha are the only Mighty Morphin Red, Black and Yellow Rangers. They make a couple of puns as they battle Eye Guy, but it turns out to be a simulation. Tommy cuts the training battle short and Kimberly takes a really strict approach as she asks the Rangers if they think it's a joke to them. Kimberly says they can make as many puns as they want once they've actually defeated a few monsters. Until then, every training session needs to be treated like the end of the world. Harsh, but if you remember the first few issues of Necessary Evil in the main comics, you will see Kimberly's attitude ties up with what she says here. Now, this is what a lot of people have been waiting for. With Jason, Zack and Trini properly off the Mighty Morphin team, they are ready, along with Kiya, to receive their new powers. So historically, there were Rangers whose connection to the grid was both ancient and primal, using the powers of the winds, earth, flames and water. That's why it's only a team of 4. These Rangers are only used when needed in times of great peril. Trini became the Yellow Ranger because she's resilient and logical. Zack became the Black Ranger because he's gregarious and bold. Jason became the Red Ranger because he's dauntless and resourceful, and Kiya became the Blue Ranger because she's ambitious and powerful. And so, this is how this team became the new Omega Rangers. We also learn more about their Zords and why they appear so alien-like. It's because they are among the oldest creations in history, ancient forms reflecting the alien beings of their time. Zack thinks they're awesome, whereas Trini finds them terrifying. It's good to see a Ranger thinks their own Zords are terrifying rather than cool for a change. At the youth centre, Tommy speaks with the new Rangers. He tries relating to them by telling him he was the new guy before. Not once, but twice. It's just something the new Rangers will need to get used to, and that as a team, they'll get through it together. Their communicators then go off because a monster, the Danger Dingo, is attacking Sydney, Australia. So Tommy and the new Rangers morph into action. While they take on the Danger Dingo in Australia, the Omega Rangers are feeling good about their new mission. Jason is grateful Zack and Trini are with him, and that this is exactly where they're meant to be. Kiya joins them to let them know that they've arrived at their destination. The target is a level 3 empowered. The series draws to a close as we see the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers take on the Danger Dingo, and the Omega Rangers facing off against the empowered. Tommy is now leading a team of his own, without Jason to fall back on, and Jason leads his team for the first time as Omega Rangers. 2 sets of superheroes in different parts of the galaxy, 2 separate missions. That marks the end of Go-Go Power Rangers. It was a fitting end to a great series. I favour endings with lots of action because they usually provide us with an explosive grand finale. Even though this one didn't really have any action, it's still a great ending. And that's because this isn't really an ending at all. It's the end of Go-Go Power Rangers, but as a prequel series, it's actually serving as the beginning of the necessary evil arc of the main series. The best was saved till last, as we finally got to see how the power transfer played out in this final issue, and we saw Jason, Zack, Trini and Kiya obtain their Omega powers and learn a bit about the history of the powers and the Zords.